This morning, there are growing calls for Seattle Mayor Bruce Harrell to resign over his response to protests that turned violent Saturday in Cal Anderson Park. A conservative Christian group gathered around 1 p.m. for their May Day USA event, which is part of their Don't Mess with Our Kids movement. About 500 people attended the prayer rally, but the Seattle Times reports hundreds of counter-protesters also showed up, many of them waving transgender pride flags. And then it was shortly before 2 p.m. that Seattle police announced on X that protesters were being told to back away from officers and to stop throwing stuff at them. And there was video posted on social media showing protesters shoving police in riot gear, officers pinning some of them to the ground in handcuffs. These clashes went on for 5 hours before police eventually arrested 23 people. Then in a statement Saturday night, Mayor Bruce Harrell said, this is a quote, "The far-right rally was held at Cal Anderson Park to provoke a reaction by promoting beliefs that are inherently opposed to our city's values in the heart of Seattle's most prominent LGBTQ plus neighborhood." He also said, again quoting, "Anarchists infiltrated the counter-protesters group and inspired violence, prompting SPD to make arrests and ask organizers to shut down the event early," which they did. Pastor Russell Johnson is among the Christian conservative leaders who are now outraged by the mayor's response.
I think people of good faith have frankly had enough of Mayor Bruce Harrell's incendiary comments and his attack on free speech. So we are rallying Tuesday evening at 5 p.m. on the front steps of City Hall, and we are calling for the mayor to either apologize and retract his statements or resign in disgrace for really becoming an enemy of the constitutionally protected rights of people in and around Seattle who have the right to peacefully assemble without being violently attacked.
Okay, but Gee, it is not just the ultra-conservative Christian groups who are angry. Some of the counter-protesters are hacked off as well, accusing police of going too far in their response. Hannah Saunders is the editor of Seattle Gay News and was at the protest on Saturday.
What happened was somebody from the counter-protest side popped a balloon that May Day USA had put up, and I confirmed this with multiple sources, and cops moved in, and bike cops, mind you, a lot of them were bike cops. They moved in. I counted at least 23 bike cops, but they had more officers come in. They started tackling people to the ground, using batons, pulling out pepper spray. I saw one person they had arrested laying on their stomach, and one officer had pepper spray in that person's face, ready to spray them when they're on the ground.
Now, for their part, Seattle police say this protest is one of the first under new city rules, allowing cops to use less lethal weapons like tear gas, pepper spray, and blast balls to control crowds.
Stay away from the dice game. Stay away from the dice game. Growing up, Ursula, there used to be dice games going around, and some of those that grew up in the black neighborhood, you know what I'm talking about. And they be sitting there, boy, let me get them snake eyes. You know what I'm saying? Stay away from the dice game. My grandma would say, don't touch the dice. Angela Russell sent me a text, you don't touch the dice. What I'm saying is, Ursula, once you touch that dice and you are a part of that game, you are all parts of the chaos can ensue. But if you didn't touch the dice, you was good. Ursula, the goal of this right-wing group was to cause chaos. Did it work? Yep. Go ahead, let's get a permit. Let's do this anti-gay, anti-trans right in the heart of the LGBTQ community right there at Cal Anderson Park. Hey, Ursula, hey, next time, let's just have a Klan rally right across the street from Rainier Beach. You see what I'm saying? Let's do it right there. That was the goal, and the goal to demonize the mayor, because now everybody is mad at the mayor. You can't win for losing. And so the right-wing organization, checkmate. That was the job. Mm-hmm. That's what they wanted to do. And now they're going to show up on Tuesday night. By the way, here's my message to y'all right-wing folks that want to show up on Tuesday night to tell the mayor that he either apologize. He ain't apologizing to y'all, and he ain't resigning. Go on somewhere and play.
Okay. So there's so much to go over, and I love your saying there about this is exactly what they wanted. However, they say they initially wanted to hold their event at Victor Steinberg Park at Pike Place Market, but their permit was denied. So, and the Seattle Parks Department did give them permission to be at Cal Anderson Park.
I know, yeah.
As much as I abhor their anti-trans message, They had the right to be at that park, which is I know, exactly. Even if it's awful speech, they have a right to free speech. And the organizers and SBD should have also expected counter-protesters. So the hundreds of people who were there to fight against bigotry and hate had a powerful message. But it was lost once crap started getting thrown around. And the violence started. So now it's like everyone pointing fingers. I don't know if it was anarchists. Was it anarchists who created the chaos? But once that happens, I mean, you've lost the message.
Hey, let's say they do it again, Ursula. Let's say they do it again. And so I'm going to speak for G. I don't want to be, this is the show's message to everyone. This is me. This is my message to everybody. Listen, y'all, if the right-wing folks show up again and they get that permit to Cal Anderson Park and they want to get there and they want to talk about anti-this and anti-that, check this out. Counter-protesters, just stay away. Stay away. Because if you go, this is the goal. Let them go ahead and gather together. I mean, no matter what, somebody's going to go there. They want to pop a balloon and do something to cause this.
But here's another thing.
Okay.
Show up in force, but keep it and make sure that it remains peaceful. Make it a beautiful thing. We're here for love. We're here to show love. I'm sorry that you feel the way that you do. You have the right to say what it is that you're saying. And by the way, it's not Gee and Ursula going against Christians. This is a particular group with a very hateful message. One of the organizers, one of the people there was former Representative Matt Shea. Look him up. Look for what that dude stands for.
Matt Shea.
Yeah, exactly. So this is not just this loving group of people who wanted to be there to talk about family values. I mean, they want to provoke.
But Ursula, you just said something a second ago. You see how they do that? You see how they say, well, no, you guys are against Christians.
Oh, yeah.
So you're not going to do that. It's not going to work.
Well, it is going to work. It's going to work for their group. I mean, so basically, it's going to work for the people who follow them. Mm-hmm. So the religious groups accusing the mayor of being anti-Christian, this morning, the mayor responds and says, we will not, this is another quote, we will not be intimidated by the kind of fear-mongering or divisiveness inspired by the rally that takes aim at our residents and at Seattle's second black and first biracial mayor. So now, essentially, I think the mayor is saying, you all think I'm anti-Christian? Well, I think you are racist. I mean,
don't touch the dice.
What an idiot. What an idiot, because the mayor, this never should have happened. The simple fact is that Matt Shea is a domestic terrorist. Okay? He is called for killing all men who do not comply with Christian law. Right? That is just one little bullet point on Matt Shea. Do not permit this event. It's silly.
But wait. Don't give it a permit based on what?
Based on the fact that they deny permits all of the time. You don't necessarily need a massive justification, but you could tell this was going to be a provocation. Matt Shea has horrific views. This is a group that believes in what's called dominionism, that religion should rule the U.S. government and we should all live underneath it. And they come to Capitol Hill. Okay, of course.
Well, they
give them another park.
They come to Capitol Hill because they wanted to be at another park. I think this is just a S show all the way around. I'm not on board calling the mayor an idiot. So that's you speaking for you. That's not Gee and Ursula Show.
No.
That's true.
Do I think he stepped in it? Yeah. I think he should have held back on and just said, we don't promote violence, period. We don't agree with hate, period. But now, then he had to kind of backtrack again. Now they're going to come back out. They're going to come back out today, both sides. And it's going to end up being a complete you-know-what show.